Support!
No! You're back for a week and you're already... Give me the box.
What's in the box? Tempest? What's in the box? At the Backlash press conference, Triple H would bring along the World Heavyweight Championship, making a major announcement as to how the title inaugural champion will be crowned. While he could just save time and hand it to Seth Rollins like Eric Bischoff did to him back in the day, that obviously rather boring, isn't it? What isn't, though, is a good old-fashioned tournament, which is exactly what Trips has got planned, announcing the details at the presser. The night after Backlash will see the tournament begin with 4 triple threat matches, 2 on Raw and 2 on SmackDown. The winner of the 2 Raw freeways will face each other at the end of Monday's Raw, and the same will happen on next Friday's SmackDown. The overall winners of both will then face off for the title at Night of Champions on May 27th. Trips has done this format before, doing something similar for the United States Championship early in his creative tenure. And yes, while the format is totally fine, what isn't fine is that SmackDown is involved in the equation at all. I mean, come on, Trips. Next week was meant to be the beginning of a new hard brand split, and you're already bending the rules. The World Heavyweight Championship is meant to be Raw's prize for Raw stars, not the blue brand. They've got 2 world titles already to fight for, 2 titles that are never seen. But still, you get my point. I swear to God, if Roman's in the tournament, Tempest, he is in it. He is in it.
He's not in it, Sad.
He's gonna win.
He's not in it.
He's gonna win it.
Sad, I can't handle it if he's in it.
I can't handle it. Ah! Moving across to AEW now, and with AEW Collision reportedly on the horizon, very soon some more details will have been revealed regarding the future of both that new show and what it means for the future of AEW's pre-existing B show, Rampage. Firstly, while WWE has gone to effort of fooling everyone into believing the recent draft actually matters, it seems like despite rumors of a brand split for AEW Dynamite and Collision, it may not actually be a proper split after all. According to Fightful Select, sources within the company do not expect a hard brand split, despite the obvious CM Punk Elite drama dividing much of the locker room. As for Rampage, according to both Dave Meltzer in a Wrestling Observer newsletter, as well as Fightful Select, the Friday night show will fill a void recently left by the cancellation of Dark and Dark Elevation. According to Meltzer, Rampage will showcase younger talent and essentially turn into what Dark and Dark Elevation were. Only this time, obviously not locked away in the dark depth of YouTube, where we are. And now, speaking of Rampage, he's its biggest fan. Ladies and gentlemen, he is that bitch! It's my man, I missed him for weeks. Excuse me while I get up and give him a hug. I missed you. I missed him. Come here, you sexy man. Look at you, look at your jacket. You sit down here, I need to give you everything. Camera goes black and I depart and it's time.
I wish there was a way for me to prove that I know the most about predetermined wrestling results. That would show them all.
Sure, Survival Series proves how much I know about the past, but what I really want is a way of proving how much I know about the results of future matches.
I know every Royal Rumble winner in reverse chronological order. Man, if only more people knew how cool that is. If only there was a way to show the world how cool I am.
Luke. Wrestle League. Wrestle League is the best way to show all your friends that not only are you really cool and attractive, but also that you're the best at predicting the results of specific wrestling shows. The winner of each season, which run between WWE's Big 4 pay-per-view shows, will win $250 worth of Amazon vouchers, which is enough to buy lots of new possessions. And everyone knows new possessions are the root of all happiness. Enter via the link in the video description below. The new season starts with WWE Backlash on May 6, 2023.
Thanks, Wrestle League. Luke. Hi, I'm Tempest, and this is the 1-minute one-take Rampage review. Start the clock, Sat. Vikingo and Lucha Brothers open the show by beating QTV, and for the love of God and all that is holy, I am asking for Powerhouse Hobbs to be moved far away from the rest of this act. My guy needs some wins. It was supposed to be the Book of Hobbs, and this book sucks so far. Chris Jericho is backstage, and he says that He says he's working on ensuring Adam Cole won't be in the same building as him moving forward, and Team TNA do their best to influence Mark Briscoe to get them their tag title shot. I've still caught up with the goddamn teleprompter. Mark Briscoe then wrestles Preston Vance and just about ends the match early by wiping out on a dive, landing on a chair. Jose the assistant tries to get involved but Mark is ultimately able to get the win with the J Driller. Reach for the sky indeed. I've once again caught up with the goddamn thing. Dustin Rhodes is talking about being excited. AEW is coming back to Austin, Texas when he gets jumped by the Moguls and Swerve. Then we had our main event as there's the Firm deletion, as the Firm was transported across space and time to the Hardy compound. Stokely Hathaway was tormented by the Junior Hardys, nearly being run over by their tiny toy of wheels before he was tased by Senior Benjamin, hit with a twist of fate by Rebby, and hit with a swanton from Maxwell. I'm still trying. Ethan Page tried to set the Hardys on fire, but they were distracted by Isaiah's sex call. Everyone took turns hitting their finishers on Ethan before Matt got the pin. A wonderful bit of fun this was, indeed, and worth checking out the end of Rampage 4.
It went over a minute, but I didn't have the heart to stop you. I'm sorry. And also, for Rampage fans, they can never say we don't do anything for them. So,
it's true.
Yeah, so let's just say minute plus review, guys. Minute plus. Don't look disappointed. You're lovely. I love hearing you talk.
I missed you.
I missed you too.
All right, count me back in, Sat. I'm Tempest, and this is my review of SmackDown in about 5 minutes. Start the clock. First things first, SmackDown had a unique set this week as they were in Puerto Rico ahead of Backlash, and I'll be damned if this wasn't a much, much better set than the usual one they have. I always feel like WWE's typical giant LED setup is way overproduced, whereas this one actually felt cool. I doubt we see this type of design become a regular thing, but I will enjoy it while we have it. SmackDown opened with the LWO cutting a promo entirely in Spanish, so I regretfully won't be able to tell you exactly what they said, but they set up Zelina Vega's match with Rhea Ripley at the pay-per-view, at which point they were interrupted by the Judgment Day. A match was signed for later in the show between Rhea and Dom and Ray and Zelina, and while this promo wasn't done for me, I think having a promo like this entirely done for the live crowd is pretty cool. The OC beat the Viking Raiders in our first match of the night, and having some new matchups on the show was quite welcome. AJ Styles was on commentary, and Michin and Valhalla were at ringside, but while the match itself was pretty standard, the real story of the match, and the story of the show for that matter, was the crowd. This crowd was the hottest TV crowd WWE have had all year, and that boosted everything on the show up a star. Valhalla tried to interfere throughout the match, so Michin took her out with a dropkick, allowing the Good Brothers to hit the Magic Killer for the win. There was lots of talk about the world title, so maybe AJ Styles be one of the dudes on SmackDown competing for it, which would be swell. Why there are dudes competing on SmackDown for this belt in the first place is another matter, but we've got positive Tempest on the clock today. Yeah! No, he wasn't on this show. Bianca Belair came out for a promo where she pushed the point that she will become the longest reigning Raw Women's Champion if she retains at Backlash. She then gets interrupted by Damage Control, and Bayley says that she made Bianca on SmackDown, and when Io beats her at Backlash, that title, this show, and that idiot Michael Cole will belong to Damage Control. See? Bayley knows what's up. Bianca then brawls with Damage Control, and she did a really good job holding her own until Io hit a springboard dropkick to take her out. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez ran in for the save to set up a 6-woman tag team match for next week. Karrion Kross goes on about more spooky nonsense backstage, and then Solo and the Usos are backstage as tension is brewing within the bloodline as Jay gets in Solo's face when Solo doesn't answer Jimmy, and Solo says that at Backlash he will do his part as long as the Usos do theirs. The Street Profits beat Imperium in a fairly quick and straightforward match that saw Giovanni Vinci do a lot more high flying than I think we're used to seeing from him, but the Street Profits made short work of them, winning the match with Montez Ford's Frog Splash. A hot crowd really goes a long way, as could be seen in the next segment as well, as Cody Rhodes came out for a promo, and what a promo it was. Cody has had to jump through a lot of hoops to try and make sense of his booking over the last month from a kayfabe perspective, but he did a great job here saying that Brock Lesnar was the gatekeeper of the main event scene. He said that WWE stars can have lengthy careers and make loads of money, but never have to face Brock Lesnar, but Brock Lesnar chose to fight him, and at Backlash he's going to beat the answer as to why out of Brock and get back on the road to finishing his story. Really great stuff here. Cody still feels like a massive star, and this feels like a really big match. I cannot wait to see the crowd's reaction to that match truly gonna be something special. Shinsuke Nakamura then beat Karrion Kross in what I thought was a surprisingly good match. Karrion Kross's offense still ranges from not very impressive looking to pretty cool in the case of his suplexes, but Nakamura got to show some resiliency in this match, kicking out of big move after big move until finally he connected with the Kinshasa for the win. In terms of a 3-week program before they go their separate ways in the draft, this was totally inoffensive, and it gets a thumbs up from SAT, which is really what they're looking for. They recapped all the NXT stars who are getting called up to SmackDown, and Cameron Grimes is talking with Adam Pearce about joining SmackDown, only to be interrupted by Baron Corbin, the free agent, which I guess means he's going to be on both shows. Yay.
Positivity.
They set up a match for next week. Nothing says you're super happy to have you on the main roster like your first rivalry being with Baron Corbin. Sweet Jesus, positivity.
Yay.
Then we had our main event as Rey and Zelina beat Dom and Rhea. The actual work in this match was quite good and built to Rey getting the hot tag and getting the upper hand on Dom with a springboard crossbody. Dom fought back with a Michinoku driver, but Rey ultimately hit the 619, and as Dom tried to hit the Three Amigos, Rey rolled him up for the 3. After the match, Judgment Day beat down Rey until Bad Bunny and the LWO came out to brawl. Bad Bunny stood opposite Damian Priest, and Dom got in the ring to take a shot from the stick, and the show went off the air with Judgment Day retreating. This match should main event Backlash, I say confidently. Overall, there probably wasn't anything specific on this show that I would recommend anyone go out of their way to see, but it was a really hot show because of the crowd, and I didn't think anything on the show was bad. A fun time for sure. This SmackDown gets a 4 out of 5. And that just about wraps things up from me, but before I go, make sure of course that you check out the latest episode of Survival Series, where everyone here at PFK Labs tries to name every single WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Here's a clip of that right now.
Hello and welcome back to another exciting edition of Survival Series here on Parts Fun Known, where we take all the members of the WrestleTalk and Parts Fun Known offices and have them name every single entry in a very specific wrestling category in reverse chronological order.